Yeah, that was a nice music from Sri Lanka. I think that I will mention the studio here. It's Gunova, Ganorova, Sri Lanka, Sri Lanka. So today is a bit late today, but still we are surfing. We are ongoing and we are doing good. I've been mixing these pictures of all the times. And let me see if that microphone is working. I can use it here or we can use it there. I've been doing some organization of pictures from old times. And I think that I have succeeded, and if I have a question, there is a group of mine that I made that I can just ask people there that was in the timeline that we were in Kenya. So the pictures are from Kenya, and it have good memories of different places, different occasions, different people. And when you look at pictures from your old time, from childhood or even before you were born, when your parents, grandparents, even they had pictures of themselves. My own parents. I have pictures of my own parents when they were children, and that is intriguing. It was black and white. Now the time is running, and we find ourselves with the best equipment ever. Let me talk about best equipment. Let me see if I can get it down here. Best equipment. Best equipment. This is how things work. I remember when I was dealing with a camera, and it was at the same time a mobile phone. It was one of the first. I got it later, but it was not mine, but this Nokia 3210 or something. It had a camera that was available to take pictures of by this camera. And during that time in 2009, maybe that was a little bit late regarding this camera, but this camera, I could take a lot of pictures from that period when I was in Israel, 2009, and it was very poor, big grains in the pictures. Big grains, not as smooth, as crispy as you can get it today. And who would want that kind of a I regard this with? It's kind of a broken or sandy memories. It can be a bit foggy, and I think that people before the digital camera was looking for the best equipment in order to enhance the density of the picture. We are talking about the density. How large is the pixels or grains when it comes to the old analog pictures that was not digitalized or in a digital way? It was these grains. How many grains per inch or something, per a square inch, or it was either this or that. I can't. And it was also about how much light was needed in order to make that picture. Some negatives, we are talking about negatives, needed more light than others. And I was amazed by my brother and his friends that could know all these details that I hadn't the faintest idea of. But I got to love this Nokia, this old first generation camera. Maybe it was the second because it became a little bit better. I think it was 3.1 or something pixels in that time period. Before it was 1.2. I think it doubled itself because it was needed to get higher density, higher crispness, higher quality. But if you see, you can't really replace. You can, of course, replace it, but due to the time period, you wouldn't transform all the negative pictures or picture to a very colorized. You would do it, and maybe you are doing it, but in my case, I appreciate the quality of that kind of a period that those pictures were taken. As long as you can get out all the dust and marks and maybe even finger marks, because as I have been scanning the old pictures, I come to see many kind of impregnations that people were not careful holding those small negatives, but I couldn't take all of it away. But the program in this scanning program was in fact fixing, deleting, and enhancing those pictures so they became more smooth, better quality, better balance between the colors and the light, and all the rest. So you see, where am I going with this? Better equipment, the best equipment. It is, we can talk in length about those issues, but it bear no sense. You see, when I have been into debates about quite a lot of issues, and one of those issues that I have debated is the church. How the previous generation people that maybe have the old memories. How it was back then, it's way better than how it's now. But I don't really believe that is really the case. Because then you are nostalgic. And in a way, it's not bad or wrong to be nostalgic, but it have its own quality. It had its own relevance back in those days. But even today, when we take the previous past time into regard, we tend to be amazed by the new inventions, by the new quality, better quality. We are talking always about the best quality. And I was with people back in those days that was talking about, I have the best Pickering. That was the needle. It was somehow a gem, like a diamond, that was touching the vinyl plate of music. And due to the equipment, the amplifier, the loudspeakers, the speakers, and the equipment, how this vinyl plate was put, how the quality of the turntable was. It was all about the best and highest quality. And I've been into different qualities, but in the end, the quality is in the making. And from there, it just goes down. It just goes down. And as long as you can preserve us to be the best quality, you have to pay a lot of money. So while I was talking initiate of the camera back in those days, I have some old pictures that I was putting on Facebook in order to ask questions. When, where, what is this about? And I was told, this is a church from Siaya in Kenya, built in 1974. So the pictures was from 1974. It is quite intriguing that you have certain memories that goes way back then, and I have to say the pictures were not the best quality, but it was as the best I could do. Large pictures, black and white. Not that it was only black and white back in those days, but it was what it was. I have to take a little bit of chocolate, because sometimes we need some sweetening. So, the time I was in Israel, I took these pictures, and the camera was increasingly better. When we changed the camera, the mobile phone, it became increasingly much better than the previous. You can see here that the camera is really the best quality. But in some way, I miss the quality back in those days. I made some memory pictures that really bungles my mind. Sometimes I saw angel images in those pictures, and I have shown them to some of my friends. And but you know, so when it comes to church, I think that it is way important, way much important that we deal with the grade of quality that everyone have. Sometimes you meet people with old equipments, and maybe for the time period that he or she is using that equipment was the best. But now today we think in the more modern style that we need to have the best quality, even though the previous ones worked. And I have to say something what I find very important is that everyone is a tool. You and me, we are tools in the generation that we live. And why do I state that? Because sometimes we feel that we are outdated or stated. We state for ourselves, I'm outdated. Or we feel that we are deemed or labeled outdated. But in my opinion, in my honest opinion, and I don't want to please elderly people, that is far from, because they have a work to do. They have to encourage their own quality, to see the relevance in their own quality, so that they can interact progressive and intuitive in their own environment. I think that we are born and have the personality that we have. People seek to stars in order to understand themselves. But I will seek to what kind of a personality and what your drive is all about. We are talking about abortion. We are talking sometimes about Israel, that many would claim would be better off aborted. And we are talking about elderly people that still are alive, that you may abort because you don't see the need either of their suffering or their existence. I think it is a cynical world that can't see the quality in each and every one. I don't need to understand your own relevance as long as you understand it yourself. And I was an activist in the church, and I was told, we don't do this here. This is not your department, it is not your task. It is not up to you to intervene with the elders, with the pastors, and so on. And I was it was very humiliating to hear that from some of your own closest people. But in the end, I had to recognize who I am. Recognize the quality in who I am. Recognize also the benefit of those tasks that people undergo, that I myself undergo, in order to stand firm, that we are not put down by those naysayers, those that have no self-respect. Because, as they say, what would people say about you? This is how people are turning other people down. I have been turned down like that. We were afraid what people was saying about you. What do you think people say about you? This is a very devastating thing to say. And we have to protect each other. If you have a child that is seeking to do something, encourage, do what she or he will do by their own drive, and applaud their bravery, how far they have come and how strong they are. The quality, it's not as you would like it to see. You see, sometimes I heard some stories that was a little bit rough. People that was maybe, I don't want to state anything, but people that was somehow preaching the gospel or doing some service. They came out with a very rough attitude. And many people today are wounded by those people that doesn't even mind what they are saying to other people. And I don't consent that, I don't belittle that. It's just very humiliating that people are in that way. And we shouldn't do it. But it is, in the end of the day, the quality that each and every one have. We can criticize, and I think we have to learn how to criticize. We just don't criticize. We have to learn how to criticize. Not in the right way, but in our own way. We have to judge in a way that we understand that this kind of behavior is not according to what the message of this man or lady is. We have to differ between the attitude and the message. Sometimes we kill the messenger because we can't stand the message. That's the quality of if we are rough and tough, people will maybe kill us, scare us, and humiliate us. But even that is happening each and every day to each and every one of us, I think it is very important to take into regard that maybe this is not the best quality. I would state that I have been exposing or conveying some messages that was not so well conveyed, not so well put. But even though maybe I woke up some people into some consideration, and if people by you are considering what you are talking about, it's the point is reached. So sometimes we meet people that are rough and tough, the big grains the, the large pixels, not the high density, but very rough. And sometimes when time has passed away, when you learn that there is better qualities, even you have advanced in your own quality, you can more or less, with a smile on your face, appreciate and really value the roughness of some people. How they convey their message, how they are portraying the truth in their own mind and claim it to be the whole and only truth. And that is very rough and tough, and people feel humiliated by that. But that is the personality. That is just diversion. That is just beside the point. You have to look at each and every person and, in a way, look at him or her as someone that maybe are striving to convey some messages. Or this hat, I can put it on. It is reflecting. A mirror is reflecting ourselves, and this is reflecting. So sometimes we meet people that we feel are reflecting us, reflecting myself, and maybe we do that more often than we are aware of. That we are more or less reflecting what we think of the other. And I think that to be aware of that kind of reflection, that when I meet you or another one, I will reflect my inner mirror that is indirectly conveying that you have this and that impact on me. That is the way I reflect back to you. If you feel intimidated, you act accordingly. If you feel honored, you act accordingly, by your own standards, by your own way. If you feel threatened, you act accordingly. That is the nature of the human being. So we adapt. It is a way of adapting to be more clever, bright, or we do our best in order to convey ourselves. So I think that taken into regard into the society, to have this very solely, or what can we call it, very narrow, very homogenic culture, society, is as if everyone should be a nurse, doctor, or scientist. It would be good, but not everyone can be exactly like that. You have to be more to yourself, true to yourself, and then ask yourself a question. What do I then do when I'm true to myself? So you have to find that out and sharpen your own quality. Okay, take care, shalom, and peace of Israel.